First and foremost, I'm very happy. Thank you for inviting me and allowing me to be part of the marathon, but not only the marathon, being part of this project to promote it, to teach Ugandans, to expose to the country what gold we have here in Tungamo. So I was lucky that they took me through the process, the production, the machinery. It seems like people don't have an idea of what exactly is here. Yes. Because first of all, to cut all these mountains and layer them and plan whether it's the landscaping, that must have taken a lot of time and of course funds. But of course also building the base of the factory and then the installation. This seems to have been work in a long time, because you can't achieve this in a very short time, even if it's not yet complete, but it is out of it's past 60%. So for me, I'm very happy that, and I've seen all the machinery that's been tested. And then also the things that I've noticed that impressed me so much was 98% of all the workforce on the ground from the road to here is Ugandans. I actually counted only 3 foreigners, which means our people are getting the skill, which means our people are trusted. So can you give us a brief understanding about the full project that is here?
First and foremost, thank you for coming and accepting to be part of us.
Thank you.
I always tell people we're in a war, and when you're in a war, you need friends, you need commitment of people to be with you.
Yes.
And this war is not a war by guns. The President Museveni and his comrades went to the war with guns. It's an economic war. It's a war to bring what brings to Africans. It's a war to bring what brings to Ugandans. For over 100 years, we've been growing coffee. And it's because we've really shifted. You can look over there. Oh, there's a sample there. That's a coffee grower. That guy you see with a funny, not a funny, but a rusted roof.
Yes.
This is what you can be able to see. All these people you see have coffee. That rusted roof that you're seeing came about in 1994 when Brazil was hit by the frost. And then that's when people got some little money, the prices hiked up and put to those. But you can see from then, their life has not been able to change. And yet, you say coffee is the second traded commodity in the world after oil. Coffee is a $460 billion. Why is that our farmers they are not happy?
Yes.
They are not getting exactly. When you go to London, to the US, all these places that you go to, you see people in coffee have better homes, better homesteads. They are staying better. They have comprehensive insurance. They have health insurance. They have medical insurance. They are living a better life. Why is Africa still living? I mean, this is evidence.
Yes.
So the idea is that can we change what we are seeing? Can we change the disorganization of homesteads and very small little towns into what we see where we travel? And how is this done? We must change the pockets and the economy of our people. When people have money in their pockets, you will tell them, can we do a one line of housing? They will understand that. When people do not have money, they will not understand what you're telling them. So this part is to bring restoration of African economy, which we call the African Renaissance. And the African Renaissance, we call it chapter 1, which is coffee. But it's going to spread to iron ore, to tin, to different resources that African people and Uganda has. So the inspiration at the park you see here, like you say, some people really don't understand what is happening here. Some of them have a good understanding. They think it's just a processing
plant.
A processing plant. Friends who are watching us, this is beyond just processing a plant. We're giving an experience to coffee lovers, to coffee takers, we're giving the experience of coffee for Africa. Because Uganda is the origin of Robusta. We're giving Robusta, yes.
Robusta coffee.
Yes, is the origin. Uganda is the origin.
Which is the most selling coffee?
Right now it's Arabica.
Arabica.
But Robusta is taking places.
Okay.
Arabica production is about 30%.
Okay.
Robusta is 70%. 70% of Robusta has been using as a blend all over the world. But Uganda is a unique country. That's why they say, Emwanyi wa Uganda mulungi. You hear people say that. It's a unique blend because it's Highland Robusta.
Okay.
Where you are is 1870 meters above sea level. There is a Robusta of coffee going all those places you see. There is Highland Robusta. What does it mean? The higher you go, the better the cup.
The better the coffee.
So that taste, no one has it all over the world. And what about all of us? I see lots of young people. If you marketed coffee, this could be the gateway, I believe. Not because I'm pertaining this project, but I believe, in the heart of my belief, that if we marketed our coffee, not from how we've been marketing, we've been marketing raw material. We've been marketing raw beans. When you hear people say, we're in London marketing coffee, sorry to say they're marketing shit. I mean, we're continuing.
I like that.
I'm sorry to say, to use that language, friend. But we're continuing to enslaving ourselves. How do you go to market coffee beans? I mean, you must have seen raw beans. Who will tell you that will not come to buy your raw beans? They are the best. How can someone not? In any case, what are you marketing? You're marketing by a product which is not determined by you. Let me tell you, you need to know these things, friends and young people. There are two stock exchanges, one in London and one in New York. One in London is for Robusta. They determine your pricing because you are at the commodity level, or what you call that green bean level. That market, you and I, even if we do what, as long as we are at the green bean level, a young man who does maths from Harvard is given an employment at the London Coffee Market Exchange to determine your price of your mother and your grandmother and your sister and your brother. Every day we get, like you see how the dollar, that's how your coffee is determined. This man sitting on that computer, he just did algorithm or mathematics very well. He has never even seen how a plant of coffee
looks like.
But he determines your price. How stupid are you, or how stupid am I to be determined? You know, guys, I'm going to farm just shortly. You'll see what we go through to raise a farm, to get where you want to have a good cup of coffee. So we're saying, let's be fair to the world. Let's be fair to our mothers, our grandparents who grow this coffee. That's why we're going to value addition. Value addition at the level of what you've seen is not determined by that market. That is a commodity market which is in London and New York. So as the park, as East Africa, we want to go beyond that. And when we want to go beyond, it's not for any reason. It's for a reason to have a better value for our farmers. Please keep reminded of this. We are doing this because we would like our farmers to live a better life, because they put a good cup of coffee on our table. Why not?
And it's possible, it's not negotiable.
Yes.
I mean, you have the best, so you can get the best prices. And economic war, we want better pockets.
Yes. So I'm sorry, African people, if you're shy about this, I am not. We must fight. We must be on the forefront of African economy. If you want to be shy, colleagues, me, I am not. And I have sacrificed my life. It is okay. But I want to be doing by you young people to know that this economy, we can fight it. The Americans fought it. Remember, do you know Africa was better than America in the 1900, they went and historized themselves and the Britain. You can see we all admire to be the other side. Can you imagine this weather? Everything. We admire
the other side.
I think we can make a better place here. Number two, we are giving an experience outside the real coffee itself, an experience of sports. I know we young people and all of us, we like sports. Me, when I was growing up, we used to run in a pitch where we used oil to put lines. You know oil, old oil, old oil, you know it. 3 years ago, I went to the same pitch. The same thing was
still happening.
Can you imagine? Same thing was. I think the generation to come, they need to aspire for better. They need to go when they have done the competition and they are going to practice, maybe do Olympics in London, wherever they are going. They know even at home it's the same standard. I think we need to inspire another generation of young people who should stop thinking small. We need to inspire friends generation who should think big things beyond themselves. And to me, the inspiration about the park should be that we African people, we have said it. By the way, for your own information, I think this is the first project in Uganda that has taken a very short period of time. Because one, it's done by Uganda. It's our private sector.
Guys, I need that concentration back here. Don't take your photos. Bagay, I wonder what you're going to write. I wonder what you're going to write if you're not listening.
You know, Gen Z's our attention span.
Yeah, that's why I keep reminding you.
But also, let me tell you, our attention
to listen, because everyone comes up with their own message, the way you pass your message. But when you've heard the original message,
friends, let me say this to young people. I know, everything is disturbing us against us, TikTok and everything. That's why our lifespan, that's why our attention to things has. But I want to encourage you to go read, go research, go ahead of yourselves and push yourselves to resist this enemy which is against our creativity and innovativeness and understanding. I just want you to encourage you that you go and say, no, I know this is happening, but I can shape my own path. So lastly, because I don't want to waste your time, this can be done here and sold in Amazon. This can be done here and sold on Amazon. This can be done here and sold anywhere all over the world. How is this going to be sold? That it's us Ugandans first embrace this. Like he said, you know, some people somehow, unfortunately, have been able to tribalize this project that it's Ontungamo. This is not a Ontungamo project, I can tell you. I can tell you, if you go around here, the spoken, widely used language is Uganda. The last time when the opposition leaders came here, and I heard that, I think someone said we corrupted them, like we gave them a bribe. That's shit, that's nonsense. Guys came here and realized something good was happening.
yes,
There was a gentleman who I've never met. It was my first meeting, called Honorable Tabagusi. While he was moving around, I think some people are working here from his constituency. They greeted him. When they greeted him, they said, hey, you know, that kind of thinking. Then he realized in his mind that this is not about what has been put on social media. Everyone who has a skill is working here. In a short time, you'll have over 1,200 young people, professionals. These are biotech people, these are technology people, these are mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, food scientists. Ordinarily, young people who would study in Chamba Makere University, go on that plane, Saudi Arabia, get $300
Per month.
per month. They're going to be earning $1,000 here. These are the young people we want to keep of dignity. When I was growing up, I realized people are going abroad where people are going for masters. You remember? Professor so and so, someone has gone to study. Are we proud of ourselves, young people, that we're exporting young people to Saudi Arabia? Are we proud
First
of
of all,
ourselves?
they go get the skill and then they get hired there. Instead of getting
No, the other ones even are meaning, and the other ones, they call them Makadama or something? Kadama,
Yes.
who go to do the normal jobs there. I don't think we want
To
that
export.
country. So what does this mean? That we have no choice. Tomorrow we have the Africa Business Forum. We are talking about industrialization, innovation, and industry. What are we pushing? Young people, join me. Join what? Let's push the government to give us more industries. Let's push the government to do more. You understand? I times get an opportunity to listen to what young people are saying. Me, I want to go and write with young people who are pushing government for more industry. You understand? Because this will solve our problem. This will solve the problem of President Museveni. President Museveni tries to support this kind of a project like this. Do you know how much he gets criticized? How much he gets faulted? How much, like, he's a president, but the guy struggles. I do not know if you have seen any good. I don't know. You tell me. I shouldn't talk about myself. You understand?
exactly
Why?
what the opposition.
If you're seeing good, why does our president then get a lot of? It means it's a mindset. It's a what? So, Bebe, I want you to bring me young people willing to push government, President Museveni and everyone, for more industries. Because then we will know we'll solve the problem of our generation and the future to come.
Which is jobs, hence economic development.
But if we only get our TikTok, what do you call it, TikTok machine, and only criticize. I've seen people who criticize even without what? Information.
Yes.
Just far. You understand it? I think, Bebe, we have an opportunity, but also we have a responsibility to bring the young people on board to start understanding economic development, economic dispensation, of how worlds or different regions and countries have developed to be where they are. And if those young people have a better mentality, they are the next leaders, they are the next CEOs, they are the next musicians, they are the next big people in their way. But this mindset, I'm seeing in Uganda, I can tell you, can you ask me the biggest challenge of an entrepreneur, or what happens if you have a project? What do you think the challenge is? You have said this mindset. Criticism. If you are developing any business, yes, visibility. Capital, taxes. Anyone else? Guys, there are a couple of challenges, and we know the traditional ones: capital, land, labor. You understand it? Those are the what? But I want you to go and challenge yourselves. There is an hidden one which we don't talk about because it is not evidenced in our books of economics. It's not evidenced in our books of what? Of economics. It is the poor man's mentality, which you call jealous, which you call which it's the biggest that is failing African people to move. But because it's not written, you understand, like it's not evidenced in these economic books, we have underrated it. And that's why I like Bobby Bobby Cool. When I talk to him, we must do things in unconventional ways. This is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to be able to win. So welcome with me to the Africa Coffee Park. We're going to go to another project attached this week, which is the Coffee Resort at Beach. I will also doing some big projects there. We hope that from tomorrow, which is the African Business Forum, the Coffee Marathon, Ugandans will understand that Bobby, not Bobby, maybe I don't know why I call him Bobby. Maybe they
you always do.
That he was at the Africa Coffee Park, not Ntungamo. We want to demystify the Ntungamo issue. And guys, a couple of you have traveled. Yeah? We are trying to put like a Mount Rushmore there. Eh? So you have Nyerere coming, you have Nelson Mandela coming. So don't take it up now because it's not yet finished. So you have all our African leaders that inspire us at the Belvedere. You go, if you've not been to Mount Rushmore, you can Google it. Those are the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to create a park that when you come, you feel the experience of Uganda through coffee. Young people, allow me to say this. Coffee is your number one product that will quickly, you know what you call low-hanging fruit, that will quickly bring the country into the space of tourism, investment. I mean, this coffee thing will bring Bezos here, will bring Bill Gates here. And when they reach here, what will they say? Oh, this country is nice or not nice? Maybe let me live. You understand? It will bring tourism, coffee. You know, someone said, Uganda got coffee, you know everything. Then when they come, they will go to his show. They will go to your business. So, we are using it as a catch, a kanyebwa, isn't it? To push. So what we are doing here is not for Nelson. You go in that small little town. There is no single room for the last 3 months. So people are getting shocked. How do we make business? How do we improve? How do we, you go to Ntungamo, there is a small other district town. We're going to be running from there. There are no rooms as we speak. Shaka is full, completely. Rukunjiri is full. So what is the project trying to bring? It's trying to bring money in people's pockets. So it's no longer a Ntungamo project, it's no longer a Nelson project, it's no longer a President Museveni's project, but it's a project for the people. And when you touch, I know all of you here, either your father, your mother, your grandparents, your sister, somehow they are connected to Coffee Kadiri. Somehow you call back home. Somehow they are connected to coffee. So with those two many, a lot of grief. Yes.
Just explain why
Why?
Explain why the Walmart
Can I answer
What the
that?
first thing?
Let me not even let it. Does it matter where the factory is? What matters is in Uganda. That is what he was talking about. Stop tribalizing or choosing. If it is in, I mean, if you look now, cement is being produced in so should we ask why is the cement factory in Kororo? It has been there for over 100 years. So let us encourage Ugandans not to look at those petty issues. What we are looking at is the project, not where it is produced from and why it is in. I mean, the biggest number of hospitals are in Uganda. Why don't we ask why there are all the big schools and big hospitals are in Uganda? So we should detest as Ugandans, as young people. I believe we should detest from that kind of thinking, that kind of talk. You want to be kept on that small level of talking. No, I want to hear you say you want to bring the machine that makes these cups. I don't want you to be talking about why the factory is in Ntungamo.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. I like to emphasize African delight. emphasizes the three problems of Africa,
Yeah.
which is ignorance,
Yes.
poverty, and diseases. Now, when you look at such a project, and you're looking at African crisis, you think when you look at Uganda and Africa, the Renaissance was the same.
Yeah.
And now, here, normally, as soon as this project started, the common casual always hear about this
Value addition. Yes.
Now, when you talk of value addition, most of our people, when you hear about value addition, is the finished product.
Yes.
But before you get to that finished product,
Yeah.
what I would like to ask, now the factory is here.
Yes.
How are you working? Are you also working with an outgrower system? Where I'm asking that, remember the two problems, ignorance and poverty.
Yeah.
Some of the farmers that we have, they are working to get themselves out of
Poverty.
and they are working in the coffee industry.
Yeah.
But mind you, now when you bring this, when you're talking about value addition, how is Inspire Africa Group working with those farmers to empower them
Yes.
with knowledge to ensure that the value addition that we are talking about is not just about the finished product, but the value addition
Starts from now. This is how it works. You know, in economics, it's about the demand and supply. The moment the demand is there, that's law of demand and supply. So what this value addition does in the first place, creates demand. If you have been exporting more of your raw materials, now we need the raw materials here. Now, that demand and supply, as we get more of these factories, by the way, this is nothing for your information. This, even if we expanded it to do coffee at efficiency, it will do only 7 to 8% of Uganda's coffee. So this is nothing. So Uganda needs more 10 of these to work to the level you want to be. You need one in Masaka, one in Zombo, one in all those coffee growing areas. You understand? So what I wanted to start by saying, this is like a pilot to open our eyes. And Ugandans, I'm asking you, don't allow this project to fail. If we fail this project, it can take us another 40 years to wake up. I like it, to come back. So the other generation, they will come even to know, not to know even where to start from. Let's have all the learnings and make sure the project is successful. So, lastly, what you're asking, the value addition starts from that demand and supply. Number two, we have a very tough policy here. When we get your coffee, we remove our costs that we have used, pay you the right money at market price. When we take our coffee wherever we are selling it, Ghana, Nigeria, US, wherever, that profit that we make,